Now, the South African National Christian Forum has joined the chorus of those opposing the jail sentence that's been imposed on the Walter Sisulu University student Sibongile Mani. She's facing 5 years in jail for spending NSFAS funds which were mistakenly deposited into her bank account. Let's chat now to the president of the South African National Christian Forum, Bishop Marothi Mashashane. Bishop, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. So what are you planning to do in defense of Sibongile Mani?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us. Indeed, we are considering to join the legal battle. Obviously, at the moment, we're waiting to see the outcome of her appeal, because we believe that the conviction and the sentence was indeed baseless, and we can't understand how did the magistrate reach that position.
Why do you think the conviction and sentence was baseless?
We think it was baseless, especially when convicting her for the theft. Theft is when somebody is appropriating, taking, somebody's belonging without the person's consent. In this case, we understand that the money was transferred to her, and that cannot be theft. We need to look at the case of the former president, Jacob Zuma, who was also benefited unduly. And all that was said to him was to pay back the money for the difference of what he benefited unlawfully when the upgrading of his eNCA house was made. So it cannot be correct that only the poor cannot be defended by the same legal system. So the same method used for the former president to pay back the money was supposed to be the same thing for the young lady to pay back the money.
Now, Bishop Mashashane, how do you then explain this? You've described theft as you appropriating something that is not yours. She was getting 1,400 Rand a month paid into account as part of the NSFAS student support. But then it ends up being 14 million. She doesn't mention it to anybody. She then spends 800,000 Rand. In your books, in your view, is not that theft when you appropriate something that is not yours? Because that was not her money. She used to get only 1,400 Rand every month.
We believe the system of the day, it's using the poor people as a scapegoat to try and justify that they are dealing with corruption or any crime. In this case, the first person who must give account and held liable and face the consequences should be the person who transferred the money to the poor lady. That was it was a temptation to her. And if you are poor, if you understand the vulnerable community, some of us, you find that your salary will be paid maybe double. By the time, we do not even, the poor people don't normally even check how much balance they have. They swap until the card says decline, they know they don't have money anymore. But nevertheless, not using it as an excuse, in this case, the matter is purely a civil matter. It cannot be theft when somebody did not go out and take somebody else's belonging without a permission. It is somebody who is giving you the money and say, use the money. And then when it is found that the money is transferred to you, you used the money as you are given, you are becoming a criminal. That cannot be correct. We are criminalizing poverty here.
Bishop, if the South African Council of Churches
Yes.
deposited money in the account that you are in charge of for the forum, for the National Christian Forum, but you are used to get a certain amount from the South African, I'm using it as an example, by the way, South African Council of Churches, will you not just say, hey, I think they've put too many zeros here. Let me just phone the Christian Council and ask them if this is my money. Isn't that the right way to go? Rather than you saying, oh, I'm a poor church, I'm going to start spending this money.
That is the right way to go, but it cannot be used against me should I fail to take that initiative. Remember, it is the responsibility of the person who is making a provision to me to make sure that is transferring the appropriate amount. So in this case, hence I'm saying it was otherwise if it was viewed as a civil matter, because in this case, you cannot say the onus rest with the erroneously recipient. It cannot be. All that was supposed to be is that, look, we have made a mistake and we are the people who have to apologize to you as a recipient.
And then how?
We are begging you to return the money.
Okay, but now she spent 800,000 rand. You yourself have described her as a poor young lady, using your own words just a short while ago. How could she repay that 800,000? And finally, what would be, in your view, Bishop Mashashane, be the appropriate sentence in this case that you describe as a civil matter and not a matter of criminal theft?
Hence, I have indicated that we need to practice the equality. We are all equal before the law. In the same way that our former president, Jacob Zuma, he benefited wrongly and erroneously from the project, and he claimed that he didn't know. But he didn't even have the money to pay back. But he was given a chance that you must pay back.
Okay, I think we've lost Bishop Marothi Mashashane. He was in fact repeating his point around this matter that he had mentioned a little bit earlier, likening it to that payback the money campaign involving the former president Jacob Zuma, and saying in this case they, as the South African National Christian Forum, believe that Sibongile Mani should be given the opportunity to pay back the money instead of being sentenced for criminal theft of that 800,000 rand that she spent, of that 14 million that was deposited by eNCA on behalf of NSFAS into her bank account.